Good evening and welcome to this edition of News Leader on 6. Today is Tuesday, June the 1st, 2021. I'm Andrew Todd. In tonight's news, COVID vaccination rates rise across the country, deaths are finally decreasing, and we'll have footage from this past Friday's Tullahoma Memorial Day observation. We'll have all these stories and more on tonight's News Leader on 6.
I was skeptical about getting the COVID-19 vaccine. There are a lot of opinions being shared. But I had the chance to talk with my doctor about my concerns. He told me the vaccines are backed by decades of research, and that the vaccines are proven safe and effective. Now I'm protected and ready to put this pandemic behind us. Join the millions of Tennesseans who have decided to give COVID-19 vaccines a shot. Visit covid19.tn.gov to find an appointment today.
I can think of this wonderful little woman that I had. She said, I can't talk. There's nothing there. And she said, I want my voice back. After the first session, she was loud. I'll never forget this. She said, there's a voice in me still. Whether it's Parkinson's or a stroke or whatever, they are not at the bottom, but they can always get better.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
How long has it been since you raced a cheetah? Are your tornado creating skills getting rusty? Tired of being the only one in your neighborhood who hasn't built a dinosaur? Sounds like it's time to visit the Hands-On Science Center. The Hands-On Science Center is an indoor science playground. In this museum, please touch is the rule. Join us for weekly science demonstrations on space, lasers, lizards, rocks, and a whole lot more. No two visits are ever the same, so visit often to see our ever-changing exhibits and demonstrations. The Hands-On Science Center, 101 Mitchell Boulevard in Tullahoma.
Welcome back. The number for people vaccinated in Tennessee is close to reaching 5 million at 4,857,898, and 33.4% of the population is fully vaccinated, while 39.3% have at least one dose. Ages 61 to 70 seem to have the highest rate of vaccines across the state, at 535,084 people vaccinated. The Tennessee Department of Health is still running their Give It a Shot campaign, which encourages those hesitant of receiving the vaccine to go out and get it. Nationally, a total of about 135 million people are fully vaccinated, which is the equivalent to 41.2% of the U.S. population. In the United States, there have been 609,763 COVID-19 related deaths, while in Tennessee, 12,441 deaths have been attributed to COVID-19, and 125 in Coffee County. For more details about vaccination numbers in Tennessee, visit www.tn.gov/health. The City of Tullahoma held its Memorial Day observation on Friday at 11 a.m. We now bring you video of Mayor Noes's opening remarks, along with the presentation of the colors and the opening prayer.
I want to thank each of you for joining us here this morning, and most of all, I'd want to thank the Shady Grove Garden Club and other organizations for making this possible, for continuing to provide our community with such a fitting venue to deliver our promise to never forget our promise and always remember those who made the ultimate sacrifice for our nation's freedom. The freedom that we enjoy every day, that we should never, never forget. Today is one of the most solemn days of remembrance of any of our nation's holidays. So we gather today to pay tribute to those men and women and reflect on the enormity of their sacrifice. So on behalf of Tullahoma's 19,000 plus residents, I give my thanks and respect to the families of those who've given their lives for our freedom and appreciate the sacrifice that's theirs as well as their loved ones. So at this time, we'll have the posting of the colors conducted by retired Major General Alan Harris. pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. At this time, we'll have invocation by Sandy Scherer.
I just want to thank Sandy for having me and including me in this. It's very special to me. My father was in the Army, so thank you so much, and welcome. Please bow your heads and join me in prayer. On this Memorial Day weekend, we come before the Creator of mankind to remember those who bravely served our great country, and as a result of their service were called home by our Lord. Father, we ask for your blessing upon the souls of those good men and women who gave their last breath in defense of our nation, our freedom, and our children's future. We also ask you to bless everyone gathered here today and grant us the strength to rise to the challenges of our time and meet them in full faith that you will always be with us. May we glorify you in all that we do, Lord, today and every day. Amen.
And after these messages, we'll be right back.
I had a knee replacement, so they've got me in life care, which I'm very, very thankful for. I couldn't garden, I couldn't do my flower beds, I can't chase my little dogs. I have been in several therapy sessions for knees and back, and that's the best therapist I believe I've ever been to. It's tremendous because I'm able to walk again, but if it wasn't for the care, I wouldn't be where I am.
Let us champion your recovery. Life Care Center of Tullahoma.
Here at Stan McNabb Collision Center, we work with all major insurance companies, and we get the job done right the first time, on time.
Well, I grew up in Tullahoma. We'd always done business with Stan McNabb, so when we needed collision service after a run-in with a deer, we knew to call those guys. We already had trust with them. We called Cody. He took great care of us. He kept us posted every step of the way, and we couldn't have been more pleased.
Getting your vehicle back to pre-loss condition shouldn't be a headache. So in the event of an accident, contact me, Cody Hall, at Stan McNabb Collision Center.
The individuals with dementia, those with Parkinson's, those that have maybe mobility issues, need caregivers. Well, those caregivers are 24 hours a day at home, and they never get a rest. And if they have to go to work, they're kind of out of luck. So that's why Trinity came into existence 25 years ago, to allow the caregivers to have a safe center where they could put their loved ones, know they would be well cared for, stimulated, fed good nutritious meals, have activities to their level, and then the caregiver can stop by and pick them up and go on home and have some continuity into their life.
Welcome back. The keynote speaker at Tullahoma's Memorial Day observation was retired Colonel Beverly Lee. We now bring you the first part of her address.
Thank you for inviting me, Sandy, during this dedication on Memorial Day weekend at this beautiful park on absolutely a beautiful day. And our city owes a ample gratitude for you in doing this, the Shady Grove Garden Club, for creating these veteran pavers and this veteran history park. It's wonderful. They serve as a reminder that even our small town has sent courageous men and women to defend our nation's freedom. You know, Memorial Day is unlike any other day. Since 1868, we've come together in our communities, cities and towns, to place flowers and flags on the graves of those who have given their full last measure to service of our country. We've come here today to reflect, remember, and honor those who've done their duty, paid the ultimate sacrifice, and asked for nothing in return. If we want to take a moment just to reflect on the meaning of Memorial Day, we would be reminded that it was once called Decoration Day. It was called Decoration Day because families and friends of the fallen from the Civil War would come together and put flowers on the graves of the brave men and women, flowers and wreaths. It was officially commemorated on May 30th in 1868 at Arlington National Cemetery. It was a date not selected because it was an anniversary of any particular battle, but because Flowers would be in bloom throughout our nation. It was a time of renewal. In 1971, the name was changed to Memorial Day. It's not a day to honor the living, quite the contrary. It's a day to honor the dead. It's not a day to commemorate any particular war. It's a day to celebrate the valor and the patriotism and to commemorate the lives of over 1,345,600 men and women. It is a reminder of the cost of war. Today, like it or not, America is engaged in conflict with irrational extremists and evil, some savage and some very sophisticated, whose objectives are to kill the people in our nation's homeland. They shout death to America, and in many cases, some want to dominate our lives. In my 30 years of service, I have found that our military is truly one of the nation's most noble professions. Thank God we still have brave young men and women who want to serve in uniform. They volunteer to do the most basic and cherished responsibility of our nation, to defend this nation and its people. They are the greatest of their generation. They're the salt of the earth, sons and daughters of the policemen, firemen, other military members, nurses and doctors, factory and service workers, and farmers. They are the very best our nation produces. And they're only 1% of our population. We come here today to also remember that it's the soldier that salutes the flag, who serves beneath the flag, and whose coffin is draped by the flag. For their service to this country is the greatest service of all. During the Great War, otherwise known as the War to End All Wars, or World War I, Canadian Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae served as a brigade surgeon for an Allied artillery unit. McCrae gave voice to the fallen soldiers in his poem from Flanders, in Flanders Fields. He wrote it May 3rd, 1915, the day after presiding over the funeral and burial of a good friend, Lieutenant Alexis Helmer. The poem was written as he sat on the back of an ambulance where he spotted wild red poppies in the foreground. And they were between the crosses marking the graves of Flanders on the spoiled earth of that battlefield. And I'm going to remind you of that poem. In Flanders Fields, the poppies blow between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place. And in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard, and the guns below. We are the dead. Short days ago we lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved. And now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe. To you, with failing hands, we throw the torch. Be yours to hold it high. If ye break faith with us who die, we shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. They beckon us to continue the fight. They who pass the torch, and they ask us not to break faith, for they have given their all. A young American volunteer YMCA worker, Moina Michael, read that poem in the November 1918 edition of the Ladies' Home Journal. She was so moved she vowed to keep the faith, and from that day she would wear a red poppy of Flanders Fields as a sign of remembrance.
And we'll be right back with the conclusion of Colonel Lee's speech after these messages.
It's not invoice. It's not MSRP. It's not Christmas Day, although it may feel like it. It's the lowest prices in Middle Tennessee, period. It's a Stan McNabb Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram or Stan McNabb Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac before these prices are gone forever.
All right, the cat's out of the bag at Carroll Street Liquor in Tullahoma. Now you know where to go if you're planning a get-together and want the ideal wine or spirit. Party planning can be stressful, but at Carroll Street Liquor you'll find everything you need. Mixers, gift sets, and all of your favorite spirit brands. So if you're feeling the pressure to pull off the ideal party, come to Carroll Street Liquor and select among the seemingly endless supply of wines, spirits, gift sets, and more. Your perfect party, it's in the bag with Carroll Street Liquors.
He's a little bit of you, he's a little bit of me. He's the trash along the roadside of Tennessee. He's the garbage that we find. He's the dream we left behind. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. A throwaway bottle or pop-top can may not seem much to a traveling man, but a little bit of litter goes a long, long way. I grow and get bigger every day. Tennessee trash messing up the highways. Tennessee trash jumping up the byways. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash. Lord, there ain't no lower class than Tennessee trash.
We have met the enemy, and he is us.
Welcome back. We now continue with retired Colonel Beverly Lee's presentation at Friday's Memorial Day observation in Tullahoma.
I want to thank the American Legion Women's Auxiliary for being here with those red poppies. They have the poppy flower and a packet of seeds of those wild red poppies for those who wish to honor a loved one, to remember and help this organization help our veterans. Which brings me to the last point. We are here to honor. We must respect their service and their sacrifice. You know, 8 years ago, Marine Corps General John Kelly reflected on his experiences with the families of the fallen, meeting them at Dover Air Force Base or at the grave sites at Arlington National Cemetery. He would often be quietly asked, was it worth it? Was it worth the life of someone they brought into the world, raised and nurtured so lovingly, and looked so much forward to meeting their husbands and wives and having those grandchildren to spoil? General Kelly never tried to answer that question. He said he couldn't. It was impossible to understand the immensity of their loss. And then one day, he received the news in his foyer, in his own home, from a casualty officer executing his sacred duty, notifying him that his son, First Lieutenant Robert Michael Kelly, had been killed in action while stepping on a landmine while leading a platoon of soldiers, of Marines, on a patrol in Afghanistan. General Kelly then asked himself the same question, over and over again, desperately trying to convince himself it was all worth something. He worked hard, believing that his son's life was worth the sacrifice on the altar of America's freedom. As he buried his son in Arlington at Section 60, gravesite 9480, General Kelly said it all came to him at that moment, that it didn't matter what the living thought. The only thing that mattered was that his son and what his son thought. And somewhere between the day his son Robert was born at 21:30, 5 September 1985, and 7:19 on the 9th of November in 2010, it was Robert that decided to risk everything, even his life, in service of his country. To our Gold Star families, you honor us with your presence. You need no reminder. You carry on each day with pictures on the mantels and mementos of lives that were never fully lived. Your courage and your grace are inspiring. We are grateful for the support you gave your soldier and their mission of protecting the rest of us, and to their service to a world that still depends so much on American men and women in uniform for its security. We should strive to live up to the example set by such selfless patriots each and every day. Courage is said to be contagious. We must tell their stories and spread the inspirational lessons of duty, honor, integrity, commitment, courage, and character. We must search our hearts and not only remember the heroes, but contemplate what type of country we want our children to live in. We need to create a country worthy of such sacrifice and leave this republic better than when we received it. Every name on these pavers served with pride, joy, a sense of commitment, and camaraderie, but most of all, they served with honor. And to the veterans here today who recall their buddies lost in battle or in years since, thank you for your service. God bless those deployed in harm's way, providing us the opportunity to enjoy this beautiful day and be in our great nation. And God bless our great nation during these challenging times. And God bless each one and every one of you. Thank you.
We'll be right back with more news after these messages.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental healthcare needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
Welcome back. The Tennessee Department of Transportation resumed construction this morning at 6 a.m. This comes after construction was suspended for Memorial Day weekend, as it was anticipated that many people would travel. Construction was paused at noon on Friday, May 28th. TDOT Commissioner Clay Bright said, quote, "Suspending construction-related lane closures during the Memorial Day weekend will lessen congestion and delays on Tennessee's major highways. We want to do our part to help everyone have an enjoyable and safe holiday weekend and keep traffic flowing as smoothly and efficiently as possible," end quote. AAA estimated nearly 37 million Americans would travel this Memorial Day holiday, 60% more than last year, still almost 6 million fewer than pre-pandemic. Over 776,000 Tennesseans plan to travel, with more than 687,000 driving for their Memorial Day destinations. From your desktop or mobile device, get the latest construction activity and live streaming SmartWay traffic cameras at tnsmartway.com/traffic. Travelers can also dial 511 from any phone for travel information for statewide travel. And don't forget to tune into this week's Living Show tonight at 6:30 p.m., Thursday morning at 9 a.m., and Thursday, Friday, and Saturday evenings at 6:30 p.m. This week's guests include local author and yoga instructor Lee Deckelman, and we'll hear from Blossom Merriman from the South Jackson Museum. All that and more on this week's Living. And stay with us, we'll have your weather forecast right after these messages.
Now open in Tullahoma, Parkview Senior Living, an affordable, luxurious retirement community that active seniors love to call home. We encourage a healthy, independent lifestyle with few restrictions. Abundant amenities mean you live burden-free in a beautiful, safe home with other like-minded seniors. Still enjoy friends and family, along with your supplemental healthcare needs. See for yourself how wonderful retirement can be. Tour Parkview Senior Living today.
We're losing it, Doctor.
Not on my shift. Quickly, brush. Roller.
What a transformation. It's going to be okay.
Okay, nothing.
At Paintworks of Tullahoma, we specialize in domestic emergencies with Martin Senior Paints. You can be the paint doctor too when you treat your home with Martin Senior interior and exterior finishes.
Doctor, we've got another one.
Got you covered.
Paintworks of Tullahoma. Come see the paint doctor, Stat.
Welcome back. We'll take a look at your weather forecast at this time, starting with your weather history on this date. Our record high was in 1951 at 95 degrees. The record low was in 1972 at 41 degrees. The average high for this day is 81 and the average low is 60. Showers moving in tonight with a low of 60. Thunderstorms expected for Wednesday with a high of 78 and a low of 63. And thunderstorms continue through Thursday with a high of 77 and a low of 60. And that's our newsletter report for this evening. We invite you to join us each Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday at 6, 8, and 10 p.m. for News Leader on 6. Stay safe. Have a great evening.